Hey, welcome back. Me and my buddy were at the range the other day, and he had purchased a new handgun, did some modifications to it. Real nice handgun, one very similar to this. It's a 9mm 1911 by Springfield Armory. He wanted to do some modifications to it to make it more to his liking, kind of like I do with mine. So what he ended up doing was ordering parts that I suggested. He purchased them, put in the new springs, replaced a full-length guide rod, put on Packmark grips, put on a single-sided safety on the left side, and took it to the range. And he was having nothing but malfunctions. And he wasn't quite sure what was wrong with it. So he came over to my house and we looked at it. We disassembled it, checked all the parts, made sure things were working the way they were supposed to be working. Thought, okay, maybe it's his slide stop or it's his safety installation. All that stuff worked fine. We come down to it and there is an issue with the sear spring. Had an extra one, pulled it out, tossed his old one, put in a new one, function checked. Seemed to work just great. So go back to the range. Now, what we did at the range, he loaded it up, fired, failure to lock back. So these are some of the problems that he's having before. He's having light strikes with a hammer, light strikes with a firing pin, having issues going into battery. Those issues were mainly resolved. He kept on having issues with the slide not locking back on the last round. So I'm thinking, is it a slide stop? Take out my slide stop. I brought the same handgun to the range that day, popped out my slide stop. Now it's a factory slide stop from Springfield Armory. I'm not understanding why his gun isn't working. And he did the same modifications I did to mine, same parts replacement, parts swaps, and put that in there, same issue. Now he's shooting this. I haven't shot it yet. I said, okay, maybe it's the ammunition. Maybe something's wrong with the ammunition, or maybe it's the magazines. So I let him use a couple of my magazines that I know work very reliably for me. We're going through all this diagnoses, and I said, hey, is there a chance that you're gripping it and your thumb's activating the slide stop so it won't lock back on the last round? He says, well, I don't know. What does that mean? Two-handed grip. He's thumbs forward because he's a Glock guy, a polymer frame firing guy. So his thumb rests naturally on the slide stop. So I said, modify your grip a little bit where your thumb isn't so high and it's not riding forward as much. He did that. 5 rounds, downrange, locks back on the magazine. Said, try it one-handed. 5 rounds, downrange, locks back on the magazine. I said, let it the full 10 rounds. Same thing, locks back. He's going, are you kidding? I said, you know, at first I thought it was an equipment issue. I said, yeah, it was your sear spring for sure. That needed to be replaced. But when you're swapping from one platform to another, the way you grip the gun, it's not always an equipment issue. It might be an actual user issue. So if you are doing modifications to your handguns and you're test firing and you're having issues, either go back to the factory stock, see if that works, or diagnose like we did one at a time. And if you're still having issues, it might not be an equipment issue. It might actually be a user issue. If this was helpful to you, like and subscribe. I'd appreciate a thumbs up. Share this with your friends, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks a lot.